Hello everyone, welcome to Ida's Tailoring. In today's video we have a challenge. We have to shorten this embroidery blouse. So let's go. This is the blouse that is embroidered and I need to shorten that blouse. It's pulling a little bit as well at the chest area and we are gonna fix that too. So I folded my blouse and pinned it where the hem needed to be done, but there is a tricky part in this. The original hem is kind of rounded. It has the slit at the sides and my customer want a straight hem. So I told her that I'm gonna do what I can, but this is not really a job that is straightforward, right? So I'm gonna put a safety pins where the mark of the hem is. And as you can see, I pinned the side as well and you have to see what to do. The easiest way, of course, would have been just cut and fold, but you don't wanna lose that beautiful embroidered lace at the bottom part, right? So we are gonna see how we can do it. So I'm tracing kind of a line just to have an idea of what I need to do and how rounded or how straight I can do that hem. But just to do that job better, I'm just gonna take a Ziploc bag and I'm gonna cut it open because I'm gonna use it a template. I'm gonna use a Sharpie to mark the edge of that lace, and that will make my job so easy. There are so many ways you can do that job. This is just one of them. So I'm gonna mark the lace all around just to see what I can do. So it's all done and then now I'm gonna cut it. So pretty much I'm taking my mark and then I'm gonna move it up as much as I need and then I'm gonna try to make it as straight as I can. As I told you before, I can probably not make it super straight, but I can try to make it as straight as possible. Because you know, nowadays, like you don't want something rounded or short. It doesn't look good. It looks good rounded when it was long, but because the fashion changes, we have to try to adapt. So I'm marking what will be the top part of the lace and I'm just need to move that lace up. That's it. At this point, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing and honestly, I don't want to ruin that job. So I'm just taking my time to finish it. But you know, that looks a little bit complicated just because I need to shift the angle, but I'm going to explain you later what you will do if you just need to cut it in a straight way, like just to make it the same but a little shorter. In the meantime, I'm gonna open the placket. This is a little bit tricky because some of the embroidery, I think the blouse was made and then it was embroidered, and some of the embroidery are over the placket and they used a very strong thread, and I'm trying to be as careful as possible to not break anything. Now it's all open and as you can see, it's a Hannah Cartago. So that's a Colombian. Colombia is very famous for doing very delicate and very artisanal and good job. This is really good. So if you needed to cut it straight, it would have been so easy because what you need to do pretty much, let's say you need to shorten 3 inches, let's say. You are gonna use a tape and you are gonna mark a line and then you are gonna mark another line at 3 inches and you're just gonna move it. Let me cut the embroidery anyways. We need to cut it to do that job. And I'm gonna try to use a better scissor to cut. The small ones for cutting embroidery, like a little bit curved, is I think it's the most comfortable to do that kind of job. So I cut my embroidery and let me show you what I mean. So you just need to cut 3 inches. So you just move it up like that. But in my case, I cannot move it up like that. I will move it up inclined to make the blouse to be more straight. After you cut your embroidery, it's a good idea to use freight check, but to be honest, I'm sure that they didn't use it, and this blouse, I don't know how old it is. It seems some kind of vintage blouse, and this doesn't break, so you don't fully need it, but if I can use it and I have it, why not use it? And just to be sure that everything will be okay, right? So now I have my two sides prepared and I'm pinning on the marks I did before. I pinned one side and now I'm gonna pin the other side, but I buttoned the shirt just to make sure that everything will be nice in a nice line, all good. And now I'm ready to go to my sewing machine. I'm using today a white thread. You can use nylon thread so it's more invisible, but I kind of don't like it too much. I'm gonna leave about 1.5 inches to start sewing that embroidery because I still need to work the sides and the slits. And here you go, like if you go very close to the camera, you will see the stitches, but if you go a little farther, you won't see them. I realized after that I need to sew better the points of those leaves and I'm fixing them. Now is the time to make the back hem and I have to work the slits as well. So I'm gonna open that hem a little bit so I can recut it, because as you can see before was rounded, now we're gonna make it some sort of a straight. So pretty much you don't need to shorten at the sides, you will need to shorten more at the center back. And as I said before, they are using a very, very thick and strong thread, and opening that blouse hasn't been easy at all. Now that I open, I can fold my blouse by the center front and the center back, so I make sure that I'm cutting the same at both sides. And as you can see, if I cut as I pin, it won't look good, so I have to go a little lower and do almost a straight hem, but as you can see, it's not straight. It's as straight as possible. And now I'm gonna repeat the same original hem. They make some sort of 1/2 inch hem and they serge and fold. I'm gonna do the same. And I'm gonna now clean as well this fabric that is inside. I'm gonna cut it very close, but I'm gonna leave about 3/4 inch so I can serge. Serging will be the easiest way, but you have to keep in mind to leave enough allowance so you can put the fit. And it's done. Here you go. So now I just need to fold the back of the hem and stitch it and copy exactly the original hem. I'm gonna finish the slits now, but before finishing the slits, I'm gonna try to close them as much as possible, and then I'm gonna make the top stitch. I prefer to make the stitch at the right side of the fabric. I feel like the top stitch will look a little better when you do it this way. I finished one side and then I'm gonna do the second side. I'm gonna do exactly the same. And now I can finish the edges I left unsewn on my applique. I do the same at the other side and my job is almost done. I just need to finish the placket and because I kind of incline the fabric, now I have too much fabric at the center and I'm folding it because I don't want to cut, because if I cut, I will make them weak right away. So I fold it and then I'm gonna sew my placket on the top. But before, I need to see the length, and I can see that it's a little shorter than I pinned. So I'm gonna mark it again where I feel like it will be the right length. Cut, and then I'm gonna fold it backwards and I'm gonna stitch it. You know, before I came to Canada, each time that I shorten a blouse or a shirt, I will open the placket, I will finish the placket inside, and I will finish the stitch, and then I sew it together. But this is not really what is done in here, because I don't want to charge more to the customer to do the right job. I don't do it like that anymore. I'm doing it today because, of course, this is a special job. It's different, but of course that adds time to the job. Do it and fold it is way easier. I finished my first part. Now I'm gonna do the second one. The second one is a little bit easier just because you can just remove the button to work in a nicer way. With the buttonhole, it's a little bit more tricky, of course. I finished that and I'm gonna sew back my button. And then I'm gonna go to the chest area. You can put a snap to fix that, but something that I prefer to do is a top stitch that I make exactly on top of the original stitch, and I try even to make it the same length of the stitch. You don't see that there is another stitch on top, right? But now it's closed, so the shirt can pull, and nothing will happen. And here you go. This is the shirt. It's looking pretty straight, pretty nice. I hope that my customer will love it. This is a job that us, the people that make gala dresses, have to do all the time when we shorten wedding gowns, all those things. But I thought that showing you in a simple blouse will be a little bit more approachable and more comfortable. If you find this video useful or entertaining, please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe, share, comment. Bye!